When you're performing a deep conditioning or scalp treatment, you'll want to start with 4 sections. 6-point center part, find your apex, and go straight down from the apex to behind the ear or to the middle of the ear, depending on the size of the client's head. If the client's head is a smaller head, you might want to go to the behind the ear. If it's a larger head, to the middle of the ear. You always want to have a consultation with your client to determine if they have any concerns about their hair or their scalp. And you also want to make sure that you complete an analysis to ensure that you understand the hair and your products and that you can put the two together. You want to make sure you pick the product that is going to benefit the client's hair or scalp in the best possible way, and the client will have good results. To start with, you're going to need a bowl, and it's always a good idea to have separate bowls for your deep conditioning treatments. Don't use your color bowls. You never want to risk the chance of anything interfering, anything previously being in that color bowl. Even though we sanitize our bowls and we cleanse them well, we want to make sure that we're having separate bowls for our deep conditioning treatments and not using the same one. You also want to make sure you have a separate brush for your deep conditioning treatments. And once you have your product in your bowl, and don't fill your bowl right up. Remember, you can always put more deep conditioner in your bowl, but you can't take what you haven't used and put it back in the bottle. So make sure that you're just taking what you need, and you can add if you feel you do need more. So to start with, when you dip your brush into your product, always make sure you only have product on one side of your brush, and it's just on the bristles. Don't let it get up into the handle part of the brush. If you do get some product on the back side, just wipe it off on your brush. Give it a wipe and make sure that you only have your product on one side. We start with filling in our quadrants, our sections. So we just want to go approximately, with a deep conditioner, approximately 1 inch down the shaft, and try to be as accurate as possible, because this deep conditioning treatment that you apply to the mannequin, picture if it was color, because the same technique is really used for applying a retouch color. And if you were doing a retouch, you would want to be very accurate. You don't want to overlap. So this is great practice for your retouch color applications. So we just go down the 6-point, applying our product. And once we've got that complete, then we go from the apex down to behind the ear, and we divide this quadrant here using our product. And when you're practicing, it's always good to use a product that isn't that expensive. Cholesterol is a good product. It comes in large containers and can be used on mannequins. But if you're doing this on a client, you'll want to make sure that you have a good product that's going to benefit the client's hair. So once we've got our quadrants sectioned off, and now our product is going to hold those 4 sections into place, now we're ready to start our subsections. So we always start at the back right hand corner, this quadrant here, and we're going to work clockwise around the head. So to start with, we use diagonal sections. We follow the shape of the head with these diagonal sections, and again, just place your 1 inch of product up the shaft. Now the amount of subsections the amount of hair you're taking in a subsection depends upon the density of the client's hair. If a client has very thick hair, you might need to take a little bit thinner subsection. And if the client has very thin hair, you might be able to get away with a faster application and take a little thicker sections. You always want to practice the skill of target parting. So place your finger, target part to your finger, and apply your product. And we keep going, and we always use those diagonal sections. We'll finish off the back. When you get to the front panel, you would do this section next. When you get to the front, you continue with the diagonal sections. The reason we use diagonal sections is it's a lot easier for us to handle the amount of hair that diagonal sections give us. Right in this region here and across the occipital bone, you might get a wider panel, and your hand will have a couple of sections that it has thicker, wider panels to handle. But overall, it's quite small panels, and your hands can handle that. The other reason we work in diagonal sections is we follow the shape of the head, and our diagonal sections allow us to follow that round head shape, the curve of the head. And when we're doing color, we use diagonal sections because anytime you want things to blend, whether you're coloring, whether you're cutting hair, using diagonal sections will always help to blend. So remember, with the deep conditioning treatment, we start with 4 sections, 6-point center from ear to ear. We start our application by filling in our sections so that our hair stays in place, our hair stays sectioned. And we then start at the back, right hand corner, quadrant, and we work clockwise around. And I just wanted to show you this section because you can see this mannequin, her hair is short. So if you're doing an application on short hair like this for deep conditioning, not for color, color is always, every application is unique. If you're doing this, you can, instead of sectioning this, just apply where it's short all over the hair, because this is conditioner, it's not going to harm the hair. Now, why do we apply in just 1 inch down the shaft? It saves product. After, we'll take and we'll comb this all through, and when we comb it through, it drags our product that we have on the near the scalp area through to the ends, and then we just can add some more as we need. And you'll find you use a lot less product doing an application that way compared to if you would just take your strand of hair and apply right through root to ends. You won't use nearly as much product, but it will still be just as effective. So remember, scalp treatment or hair treatment, section into 4. Fill your sections first. Start in the back right hand corner with your diagonal sections. Move clockwise around the head, and then once that's done, you can do some nice scalp massage movements, and then you will be ready to put the client either plastic cap or under some type of heat source is always nice, and then you've performed your scalp treatment. Always read and follow the manufacturer's instructions for whatever product you're using. Some products require heat, some don't. So read and follow the manufacturer's instructions.